Hi everybody, Bethany here. This is my roommate Jenny, and today I'm going to be doing this look on her. So she has got a little bit different skin type, skin tone, facial shape obviously than me, so that's going to be fun to do this on someone else. But her skin is kind of dry / oily. I'm sure if you have that skin type you know what we're talking about. Just like she gets like breakouts, but yet it feels dry a lot and stuff. So I had her put on a moisturizer, and then I'm just going to go ahead and show you what I do for the foundation. Alright, so first I'm going to use a primer on Jenny. I don't usually use a primer, but today I'm going to just because it's going to help create just that nice even base for her foundation. I'm using the L'Oreal Studio Secrets that I use a lot. It's just kind of this pink one in the pot. So I'm going to put that on, and you don't need a whole lot, just enough to kind of give her a little layer. And this stuff shouldn't break you out at all. Sometimes it feels funny, like it might, but I don't know. I've never had any problems with it. Okay, and next I'm going to be using Revlon ColorStay foundation, which I use personally, and this one is in Buff. I'm using the combo to oily skin one just because it works better than the other one. And you can use really a damp sponge or a brush to use this. I'm going to use a brush just because I think it's going to give us a little bit better coverage. So I'm using this Eco Tools one. It's like a stippling brush, and so we're just going to kind of tap it on her face. So I just put it on my hand here. And this kind of like, rather than using a sponge, it saves a lot of product because the sponge soaks up the foundation, whereas this just kind of like dots it on her face. So don't be afraid if you look like you have some kind of disease at first. It will blend away. Sorry, it might feel kind of funny. So stippling is basically just pressing it in like this, but I do that and then kind of like circular motions. Alright, so now once she is all washed out with her foundation, we're going to use some concealer just to touch up on little areas, but it really did cover pretty well. So just kind of any areas you have like blemishes or whatever, all those great things that we get. This is the Revlon Blemish concealer that has salicylic acid that helps kill the blemishes. So 2 in 1. Okay, I'm using the Cargo Blu-ray concealer for her. This is the shade 1. This is probably one of my favorite concealers. It's pretty sweet. Okay, go ahead and look up for me. And she doesn't really have hardly any dark circles, so we don't need very much. Lucky duck.
Getting my sleep lately.
Alright, now I'm using the Cargo Blu-ray High Definition Makeup. It's a powder, but it does give you kind of some coverage, but really just sets everything and makes you look kind of glowy, I guess. So, and I'm using just like a fluffy powder brush to use this, so we don't put as much on, because if you use like a denser brush, it will put a lot on and then she'll just look cakey. Which Elizabeth Taylor probably did look cakey, but we're not going for that in these modern days. Okay. Now I'm just going to use this Too Faced Chocolate Soliel bronzer just to give her kind of a little bit of extra. I mean, it's not gonna, I don't want to make her look tan by any means, but just so that she doesn't look, because the ColorStay really kind of washes you out, so I'm just going to do a little bit of this. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the eyes. I'm first using an eyeshadow primer. This one I recently got. It's the Palladio Herbal eyeshadow primer, and it was like, I think $7. Go ahead and shut for me. Say. It was probably like $7 versus the 18 or whatever of the Too Faced and the Urban Decay, which I used to have, but I'm like, this one I've heard works just the same, and it really does. It doesn't crease at all, so pretty sweet. Okay, and then I'm just using one eyeshadow color for the whole lid area, and this is the Benefit. It's called Fawn Over Me. It looks like that. Just kind of any real, more of a light kind of golden brown, I guess I would say, but it's still like beige, so light enough to be considered beige, I would say. So you just want to have like one shadow color that's going to be your wash. That's tends to be like what they did back then, and just kind of do like a, I mean, we would almost think it's too dark now, but back then it was fine, like do it all the way up to the eyebrow. But it still looks good. Alright, and then I'm going to be using an eyeshadow as liner. I'm using this from the Bare Minerals Quad, it's called The Truth, and I'm going to use this color right here. So it's just a dark brown, kind of more on the warm side, and it's got some shimmer to it. So I'm going to go ahead and get my eyeliner brush wet. I'm just using an angled eyeliner brush today. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and do, I mean, a pretty thick line. And make sure to kind of give it a little V at the end. Alright, so now I'm just taking kind of a sponge applicator. You can use a Q-tip if you want. I'm just going to put a little bit underneath the eye. Let's go ahead and look up for me. Just using that same color, just to give a little bit of extra definition. I can bring it pretty much all the way in. Oops. Okay, so that's it for the eyeshadow and liner. I'm just going to go ahead and put some brow gel on. If you need to fill in your brows, go ahead. We don't need to on her. Obviously, if you're trying to do Elizabeth Taylor, she has very dramatic eyebrows, so you can, you know, do them as crazy as you want or as natural as you want. And then Jenny's going to put on some mascara, and we'll come back and show you the cheeks and the lips. Alright, so Jenny put her mascara on, and we're going to go ahead and do the cheeks. So for this look, it's more of a kind of rosy red color, I guess, and I don't really have exactly the color, so I'm going to mix a couple. I'm using the Illamasqua Tweak, which is a very vibrant red, and then on top I'm going to use the Bare Minerals Thistle, which is a little bit softer to kind of just soften it out. So using my angled blush brush for this, because we're going to do it kind of more on the cheekbone area. So go ahead and turn really quick for me. Have to be really careful with this one because it's intense.
Yes, it is.
Then just for a finishing touch, I'm going to use a highlighter. This is by Wet n Wild. They don't make it anymore, but you can find something that's just a real, just like a shimmer powder basically. And just on the tops of the cheekbone. And I don't know that they necessarily did this back then, but it just kind of gives you more of that glowy look. Okay, so for her I'm just going to start with a neutral lip liner. This is the MAC Subculture that I always use. And we're just going to line them. I'm not going to fill them in or anything. And you can use like a red one if you want more drama, but we don't really want that today. because Jenny doesn't need drama right now. Why? Then I'm using this. This is the Burt's Bees Lip Shimmer, okay? But it is in cherry. It's their new one. And it is a little bit more of a warmer red, which is what I want, because Jenny does have kind of more warmer skin tone, I guess. So, and that's kind of what Elizabeth is wearing too, so it's just going to be kind of fun to put it on because it's kind of a lip balm almost. Okay, so there's that, and then I'm going to do this e.l.f. lip gloss in Vixen is what it's called, but it's just a nice, once again, kind of cherry red color. Alright, so here is my finished Elizabeth Taylor inspired look. Doesn't she look great? Yay! Alright, so thank you for watching this video. Jenny says, yay! And yes, we'll see you later. Bye!
Bye.